I have the podcast, The Obesity Guy with Materantia MD, and we have this fun little feature where you can send us in fan mail. And really what it's turned into is a bunch of people asking so many great questions that I couldn't answer all of them. So here I am making a video. So real quick, this person said, hey, what do you do about nausea? I'm on the first week of Zepbound and I'm super nauseated and constipated. So first of all, I'm Dr. NT. I'm a board certified obesity medicine physician. And this is what I do. I do want to point out to you, I'm going to go over a few quick tips here. I do have a course, the top 5 mistakes that people make when starting a GLP-1. Again, I'm board certified in obesity medicine, and this is what I help people with all day long. And I condensed it down in these really quick 10-minute videos. We also once a month for at least 6 months when you're in there, you can come to those live calls and ask me questions, or beforehand type it out in a document that we can answer. Okay, but if you're nauseated and constipated, those are actually 2 separate things, okay? So for nausea, here are my first quick tips. Number 1, you need to be well hydrated. Now, it's really hard when you're nauseated to sit there and drink a bunch of fluid. So my biggest tip is space out your fluid, like little sips throughout the day, if you can, if your, kind of work schedule and things permit. Number 2, you've got to be spacing out your food. People think, oh, don't eat, that's going to make it better. No, actually a bite of food, something like that, can usually actually help to ease nausea, okay? Then of course, there is, the type of foods you're eating and what you're doing, but let's just focus on those first 2 tips. Can you hydrate? Can you space out your food? Can you eat something, even if it's like a cracker? Don't worry initially about, does it have all the fiber in the world, all the protein in the world? You are just trying to get used to this medication. The other thing that can be really helpful are, getting some electrolytes in there. So again, you might be not only having a hard time hydrating, but also holding on to that fluid. So it doesn't need to be the most expensive product in the world. Let me tell you, I've tried one recently that I'm just in love with. I'm waiting to see first. Actually, I've never actually wanted to actually talk about an electrolyte product, but I actually really love this company. And so again, there are amazing products out there, but you could literally get yourself a broth at the store, like a chicken noodle soup. You could do a little bouillon broth and put it in a hot water. So we want to actually be able to absorb that water. And then also it's just seeing, what type of foods could you get in you. The other thing I want to say is that it takes time for you to get used to how you're going to feel, what foods are tolerated, and how you can do it. So some people, the first 1, 2, 3 days, they're very suppressed. They're not able to get much food down, and that actually makes constipation worse, right? So not only does the medication constipate, but then they're also not getting in the fibers. So I want you to be gentle on yourself, and I want you to just see, hey, what are the ways in which I can slowly up the fiber content, right? So does that mean maybe like 1/4 of an avocado, 1/2 of an avocado, right? Can I get a tortilla wrap that has a bunch of fiber in there? Like, how can I start to get some more veggies in here, but just being slow and graceful with yourself, because those first few days when you're on it, you feel very suppressed. It's very hard to get that kind of stuff down and realize that it's a process. And again, you're going to involve your medical team, right? Now, again, constipation, nausea, these are huge topics. I really recommend, if you want to learn much more about that you go and do my mini course, because that's really a way that I kind of dive into all this. You can also ask me questions underneath each video. I either write back or answered on that once a month, the live video Q&A. So I hope that this is helpful. The other resource would be my podcast, The Obesity Guy with Materantia MD. I have whole episodes where I talk about nausea, constipation, literally entire episodes where we go over this. There is also a guide that my doctor started me on a GLP-1, and now what? That's a Spotify playlist. If you can't find the link to that, message me over on Instagram, DM me, and I'll get you the link to that, because it literally goes through the top 10 episodes on my podcast when you get started on GLP-1. Hope this is helpful.